Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina, and we are going to be joined very, very shortly with the OrderFlow Labs guys, whose main mission in life, at least for the next couple hours, is to trade the close, and it'll be successful. I can tell you that. It's more successful than anything. I got to work on my Trump accent. Anyway, before we get there, though, let's take a look at some charts really quickly here, just to do a little bit of an update. We have a 30-minute E-mini S&P 500 candle chart up on the screen. We talked about this earlier, the edge full gap down year to date on a Monday, and guess what? The gap is the, I don't know, what is that? This light gray rectangle. We filled it. Last 30-minute candle. We broke through it. We filled it. So the 40%, maybe next week it'll be 42% or something like that for a Monday. So we made that for whatever reason. Last 30-minute candle, we broke on through. On the upside, we got the pivot. Daily pivot is still in play, pretty close to 56.50. And then after that, really it's R1 up at 5,700. One of the things that was interesting though is the ATR. Remember, the ATR was like 103 last week. And I use a 14 day calculation. It's 99 today. Low to high, we've done 101 and a quarter points on the day. So we achieved the ATR. And so we'll see if we keep moving to the upside right now. Up 0.28% on the E-mini S&P going into power hour. Let's just take a peek at the NASI real quick, see if that's any different. And it's slightly different. Gap's not filled yet on the micro NASDAQ. We have only a 20% chance, or 20% of the time, I should say, year to date on a Monday, did we close that gap from regular trading hour close previous session to the open the next day. Again, highlighted by my rectangle. And we're driving up there, though. We're driving up there to buck the odds to get a 20% fill on the upside here for that gap that we saw earlier today. Let's do the same exercise for gold. If I could find it on my screen right here. There's gold. Gold has been kind of sideways, right? So this was the gap up, which means we'd need to fill the gap down. Here's the bottom part of the gap, right where my crosshairs is. We're not even close, right? 71% chance not filled. My guess is, unless something totally extraordinary happens, we're not getting that fill today in gold. R3 is way here. We're pretty much sideways, pretty much. This is a pretty tight channel. If you look where my crosshairs is right now at the bottom, 31.45. The top, again, I'm ignoring the wicks. I'm just looking at bodies of candles, 31.48. So it's about a $13.80 separation between low to high, and we've been kind of sideways there. The cool thing about this is totally value area trading right now. Top of the value area traders might want to consider getting short. Bottom of the trading orders, they might want to consider getting long if you're value area trading, right? And then if it breaks out of there, then you're out. That's the way that a lot of the value area traders look on a sideways day like today. Although there's a capital P distribution, that stem at the bottom, that all came from early, like pre-London Open. So ever since then, we've been steady Freddy sideways. Let's shoot over to the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin's been an interesting ride today. Let me get to the right month here. April Bitcoin. Again, from edgefull.com, that's where I'm getting these statistics from, edgefull.com. We had another gap down, a gap down. And remember, we ignore everything before the open. We ignore everything before the open. Let's see if we filled it. We have the open is right here where, oh, we missed it. We missed it by a couple ticks, right? This is from this point forward. Is that gray rectangle going to fill? And we didn't quite get there. So this is still 100% not filled by, well, that's by the hair of my teeth, man. That's a barely miss on the micro Bitcoin. In any event, just to kind of take a peek at the daily on Bitcoin really quickly, because I want to see if we're back in that. We're still miles away from that trend channel. Not even close on a daily chart. So it's fighting its way back up, but we'll see what happens over the course of the next couple of days. Lastly, but not leastly, hang on, we're almost through here. Let's get to that 10-year note. 10-year notes back in the consolidation range. That's crazy. I mean, we've been in this consolidation range ever since I started this bottom rectangle February 27th. This is all sideways, right? And remember, the 10-year yield moves in opposite of whatever this is doing, right? So just keep that in mind. Inversely related 10-year yields. Right now, we're plunging back down. We have a big seller's wick on the top of these 10-year notes. My guess is we're going to end up somewhere in the middle in anticipation of April 2nd. All right. Having said all that, the main event, Order Flow Labs. Leo and Nick are in the house. There you guys are.
What's up,
How's it
Jim?
going,
What's
guys?
up, Jim? It's
I'm,
going
I'm,
well.
I'm, I'm telling you, man, the humidity is back down here on the island just outside of Charleston. It was brutal today. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, your
So
forehead was a little sweaty, it looks like.
it's a
I'm just kidding.
beautiful 72 degrees here in North Texas, so I can't complain.
Wow, beautiful.
Yep. I'm
All
not
right,
far from Nick, so basically I'm gonna have the same weather as him.
beautiful, beautiful. How close are you together? Like a
Leo's
car
what, you're
ride?
up in Oklahoma?
Yeah, 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nothing. You could visit all day long. Oh man. Any event, I'm gonna let you guys do your thing. I know you're trading the close. You guys are ready to go, I can tell. So I'll be sitting back taking notes. So have a great session.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. That was in unison, Nick. Did we plan that?
I guess so. I think we're getting pretty good at this after a few weeks of hanging out here during Power Hour, doing the trade the close together. So what are you seeing? It's been somewhat of a wild day after a gap down and the sky is falling and everything is violence into the end of the quarter here. But a nice little rebound here after kind of the initial balance was set, and we've just been grinding higher ever since. So how are you looking at this in the last 90 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, this is you know, an afternoon breakout after a very violent, like you said, opening auction lower that was never retested. So it has a really good tail. And we would call that, in the business, we call that a great low, a good low, right? Um, so we have a good low on the session. I'm not saying anything about the current swing, whatever. But we have a good low on the session. We hung out around the initial balance. We broke out from that. And it looks like we're just working on filling this gap from Friday's low. So 19,420, just a little bit above it, 21 half, basically. And then Q would get us above or break through that gap range. So that's what I'm looking at. And just kind of, you know, what are the conditions that we have right now from a trader standpoint, from a scalper standpoint? They're not fantastic because we're at the high of the day. We have single prints below us. So I'm not really looking for a strong short to get into. Because, for me, single prints indicate very strong, market movement. We're seeing that. But I also don't have a great risk to reward to buy it up here. So I think my best play is to look for some type of pullback to join. And there's areas right here on the chart that are already marked based on, sell delta that came in at these 41s or the week open, which has already been tested. This is my favorite level. So it's good. It's a significant inflection point for me. And we had some trap sellers in this area as well. So these are spots where I'd look for a continuation trade. Um, Not necessarily looking to counter this move. I guess that's kind of the point. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a tough spot because I think we've been kind of looking for potentially a decent looking bottom on the longer time frame for the last few weeks, and I think there's been a few people calling it multiple times for the last like 3 weeks. If you look at this on like a 1 hour or a 4 hour, that looks like a much cleaner low. If I am trying to manifest a bottom, if anything, when you kind of look at it that way, I think we've had more rounded bottoms the last couple weeks, but we are coming into whatever you want to call the last couple of weeks of balance where we were just kind of consolidating around that 19,400 spot and then all the way up to 20,000 plus basically. So now we're kind of coming into the bottom of those old wicks, going back to early in March. And yeah, you could absolutely find another strong reoffer here, but you could also see us just kind of very easily folding back into this multi-week balance that we were in and just continuing to kind of be range bound in these kind of mid 19,000s, especially with the first of April tomorrow, as well as whatever we want to call the tariff announcements, I guess, on Wednesday.
Right.
But I kind of like this on the longer time frame, at least, to be looking for dips to buy. But with the rest of today's session, I mean, I could see a seller stepping in anywhere between 400 to 420. I mean, even as high as I guess Friday's close before we kind of had that meltdown into the after hours. So I may be looking for a lower price to potentially try to buy this for the end of the day, but I don't know. I'm a little shaky after we've just kind of been grinding higher to want to short this.
I would agree. I think if we see a reaction at yesterday's low or even at the close, Friday's close, that there could be a re-upper spot there for sure. Even up into 440s, where these lows are. But yeah, I mean, on the higher time frame, we just took out all the lows, to the left of us. Get a really nice strong push out of that. So this could be another chance for buyers to create a swing low for a short period of time.
Absolutely. And I am holding out hope. I do have a good trading buddy that kind of tongue in cheek made a bet with himself that if we close green on the NASDAQ or on NQ rather, he's done trading for the year. So I think it was somewhere around initial balance. I mean, he's kidding. He's on vacation. It was mobile trading, but it gave me a good laugh that we are slowly just creeping higher here and possibly closing green. So I'm going to give him a shout out. I know he's on vacation and having fun with his family, but he dropped in to trade a little bit this morning, and I had a good laugh because every once in a while I feel like you and your trading buddy say stupid things, you make a stupid bet like that, and it has absolutely nothing plausible to say we're going to when NQ is basically down, 2%, I think, maybe a little more near that low of the day. And he kind of says it like as a knee jerk, but man, it looks like that may actually pay off. So I guess he might be done trading. We'll see him in
can you name names?
I mean, we call him NQ Jesus. I'm actually not kidding. He's one of the best earnings release traders I've ever seen. He just is very much just goes with whatever side of momentum and happens to be right a lot more than he's wrong trading like after hours earning releases.
That's crazy.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, I can't do it. I can't trade. I don't have fast enough fingers, I guess, to click buttons that quickly, but he seems to have mastered that event volatility.
Well, that's because you don't have hotkeys, Nick.
I mean, I don't think he's doing it hotkeys. I literally think he's doing it on mobile with just pushing two buttons.
No,
just
mobile,
mark it in, mark it out
on his phone.
I mean, I know he's done it on his phone before, but
Nick.
So, I mean, I've got some interesting characters that I spend my time with outside of you. It's a good bunch. Keep me laughing, keep me sane throughout the session.
I need to meet these folks.
Happy to make an introduction, but yeah, we need to close 50 points higher on NQ. So pretty much around that 450, 460 spot makes him a little nervous. I'm sure he's getting nervous just watching this right now if he's paying attention.
Is this the JPM caller's fault?
I mean, I'm not a big JPM caller guy. I know a lot of people, this is like their Super Bowl of a session to see, are we going to close above it, below it, right on it?
Where is it?
I don't even know what it is. Is it like it's 55 something?
Somebody give us the price. Somebody give us the price.
What is the JPM caller that everybody on Twitter has been talking about for the last 3 months, except for when it doesn't matter most of the time? But apparently they may roll it today, Leo. So we may get a weird move, allegedly.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, they have to, right? They have to roll it.
I guess, but we'll see. Is it something that's going to be moved down a few points? I mean, are they going to position it more for more downside potentially? I don't know.
Crudele said it's 55.65.
55.65. So we are well above it on the
Oh,
SPX
yeah.
currently. Just like they drew it up.
That was the 5-minute mid. The opening range mid was 55.60. So no shock. No shock to me that area is important.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I was looking to see if it didn't really cleanly work today on NQ, it looked like. Maybe it did. On ES, it was right there. There was a great opportunity to long 55.60.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, glanced over at the old ES Dom and saw where ES was, and I was like, I'm gonna take a stab at it along there in the old NQ market. Do you ever trade one off of the other? I think you do, right? You kind of,
I do.
yeah.
I mean, we know they trade. They're correlated most of the time. So you can do that, I would say, a lot of the time, but every once in a while I will say if you are using ES to trade NQ, you could still get stopped out on NQ very easily. Just the way it moves, just the nature of the beast. But yes, I still will take NQ longs and shorts off of SPX levels, SPY, the triple Qs, just other things to kind of help guide a not potential entry, but a decent reversal maybe or continuation if we've got over a certain strike or area that makes sense on the other.
Well, we're getting a pullback right now. Let's see if we can't snipe a trade here. I'm just gonna jump into this. We'll just go with the small 2-lot trade.
Jump along with the shorts. Or you go long.
Long.
Yeah, we did have a lot of consolidation here at 350s.
I mean, we have a little exhaustion. Some buying came in right into this area that we were already looking at. So it's a good spot for me to try it. Just as a scalp, just see if we can't rotate back up. Yeah, there's tons of a big volume distribution here.
ES has similar structure there too.
Right.
This will be an interesting close.
The most interesting close of 2025 until
tomorrow.
Until the next quarter. I watch as long as I'm at my desk, I watch every close. Like, I'll rarely trade it, but for whatever reason, I just like to watch it.
Yeah, I typically do too. A lot of the time I would say it's unless I'm doing this, unless I am actively like sitting at my desk, most of the time it'll be mobile, but it's peaking at uh just kind of how we close, what the reaction MOC is, but it's very rare I ever have a trade on, I would say post 2:50 Central Time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was long from 55.35s and I took it for about 15 points with like one lot on ES. And haven't traded since.
Nice.
Called the low apparently. Do you tend to keep it a little lighter on Mondays?
Yeah, actually Mondays are my worst trading days, honestly. So because of that, I kind of use Monday just as a warm up. My best days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is hit or miss. But by far, my worst days are Mondays. What about you?
I'm sure it's up there. I don't think I've ever actually punched the stats on day of the week. I know Fridays have probably my largest, like either my largest days or like a day that I'm done real early.
Right.
Because something didn't work out. That's probably
You just try to be in or out Fridays.
Yeah. And I think you have some moves on like OPEX days or others where we may get something crazy or at least a more violent move off the open. So sometimes I can get in and out real quick. But Mondays, I don't think are historically bad for me. I've just never really traded them big. It's always been that where if I hit a green trade, like I may call it a session, 10 points on NQ, 10 points on ES or something small, and not do it again. Just because it's like you said, you're warming up for the week. You're kind of just gonna watch and see how does price action really look? Where are we trading? How is the new range established from the previous
I'm
week a
gonna
little bit?
take one off here. If I can't get this fill, I'm just gonna mark it out. Looks like there we go. Cool. Took that off for 20. Logic on that for me, 20 points is a great base hit trade for me. And we're here at this potential resistance. So if we look at this high and this push down, the retracement zone that we draw just kind of like it looks at every leg of rotation and gives you an area where you may have a potential, rebid or reoffer, right? So from the sellers that initiated here, they could, reinitiate a little bit, lower than this, obviously, because if price comes back through this, we're likely to go breach it, right? So sellers kind of want to protect this high, and I use those, those as targets for positions as well as potential entries. So sorry to cut you off, Nick. Just wanted to walk through that.
No, you're good. You're holding a runner for a new high of the day, right?
Yes. Now that you said it, I have to do it.
I mean, it looks decent enough right now. So if we can
Yeah,
pop
I
over
mean,
400.
we have single prints. We have we pulled back and route, they bought it right back up. So all expectations would be for this to go close this gap. I really don't need to keep my stop any. I mean, I could even put it at break even because if it would come back down here, I would imagine we're going to at least test into these 320s and then maybe down here at the value area high on the session.
Like the 280s area.
Yeah.
We'll see if they try to reoffer again here at 400. Like we said earlier, this is that kind of bottom of that balance range that we've been in since kind of early March.
They're trying to sell it. This star tells us the sellers are trying to engage right after all this buying that came in. But I'm just going to ignore that.
Sometimes I get nervous with a negative delta flip like that at the highs.
I do
You get
too.
this kind of
I
move.
do
It's just like
too.
this is just
Yeah.
asking me to short it.
Right.
And I possibly like it's one of those where if it pops, like usually it's a pretty violent move, 30, 40 points higher. I don't know, I've matured. This is why we say too with some of these tools, it's like you have to have confluence.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why, because it's not like it's a false positive of an entry in theory, but it's showing you something that's happening, but it doesn't
Right.
mean those sellers are not going to get stuffed and then absolutely just ran through to
Yeah.
the new highs up here or
Which is
possibly
what I'm
like
planning.
450s.
Yeah.
Which I would bet on that, to be honest. Like just knowing price action towards the end of the day and how buyers have been engaging in this session, it just makes sense that we may continue to kind of march higher here.
Right.
And here we go.
When I when we close this gap, let's transition over to your chart and see if we can't convince you to take a trade.
Well, we can always convince me to take a trade.
We have to see you trade with your broken arm or your
Dude, it's part of the reason, guys, I have not been as active trading in the last like 2 weeks. I mean, this is day 12 in this stupid sling, and I'm so over it. And hotkeys isn't gonna help me. I'm just like frustrated sitting at my desk, like trying to do charting, trying to switch screens, just navigate your setup. It's just not my favorite thing. I was doing PT this morning, and they even told me like you've made good progress and like 10 days post-op. So I'm optimistic it'll be 4 weeks in the sling and not 6.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're doing well.
That was a lackluster new high. I was expecting us kind of to really pop that.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty weak.
I was about to try to long like 410s for that breakout move, possibly for 20 points.
Oh, jeez.
I was about to click
So
the
you're
button
that
and you
guy?
started to get it. Well, it's another thing I'm trying to get better at too. So it's like when
Breakouts.
yeah, it will be a breakout like that, which a trade I've been stopped out on trying to short many times in my young trading career here, but it's also like, okay, so let's try to take the flip side of that trade where your initial instinct may have been to try to short for a reoffer in the same general spot. But what if we take the breakout, which I have gotten stopped out on many, many times? So it's just kind of taking the other setup. Naturally, that I say that, we're probably going to roll over after making that sad little new high.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yes, didn't make a new high.
Well, ES is still hanging out there. There's a ledge at 5640 on the volume profile, a little bit of a thing you could put a plate on it. Would any chance I would add to this trade? Yeah, I might consider it here at 370 where this buy zone is, this little box. I want to be cautious against adding on a break. Like I'd still consider this more or less like of a breakout long, but obviously I got into it on a pullback. So I just want to be careful that I'm not buying into, a bigger pullback. What's up, Christian? You did great last week on your stream, man. I'm look forward to watching you again. Let's see what we do here. If we get a pause, I'll consider.
See what happens at the power hour turn here in 3 minutes.
We'll add one too. So we're at 360.
Be fun to get a little dip below that so I could long and have a better average than you.
No, not allowed. Christian got long the initial breakout, which that's a great trade, man.
That pop of 300s.
Right, probably right through 280s, I'm guessing.
Yeah. That was a Joe
307.
Rogan reaction type move. I love those.
What? Tell me about that.
Well, it's just like one of those. It's always to the upside. I always feel like you kind of react that way. But if you've ever seen, there's GIFs out there that everyone uses. But it's his reaction to commentating like a UFC fight, and it's just his facial expressions of like,
Oh, that
being like,
meme. Yeah, I've seen that
oh,
meme. Yeah.
like one of those where you just get it happen. You really can only have them on NQ because NQ will have one of those 80.5 minute candles out of nowhere and give you that kind of reaction.
Leo hasn't competed in the singing stream session. That's true. You guys don't want to hear me sing.
Are you a singer?
No.
People called you the
But
songbird of your generation.
actually, OrderFlow Labs will have a singer tomorrow, a legitimate singer. If you guys don't know, Stowe is a legitimate musician.
Stowe is a man of many talents,
He is.
including trading.
And baking bread.
I mean, I'm still waiting for him to become a baking influencer at this point. A
All
big
right,
sourdough.
I got stopped out on this. See if we can't see what's gonna happen here. I'm still interested. but I just don't. You never want to buy into, basically like a high rejection, right, on these trend moves.
Yep.
So it looks like there's some buying in here, but still pretty weak on the bid side.
The same spot. I wonder if we're going to fall down towards those 320s, 315.
Okay, so we just started the 2 p.m. session. I'm just going to get back in this trade. Looks like that was just the move to stop me out and make me question everything.
Mm-hmm. Hey, at least you took the punishment, got back in, versus flipping your keyboard, shutting it down, and calling it a session, then looking at your phone 20 minutes later and seeing right.
Well, I can't do that on YouTube.
I
I'd get in trouble.
think we've all been there, though.
Somebody made a joke about somebody in OFL made a joke about, if somebody created like a nice vase that you could put on your desk that was like, say, $2, but it was easily breakable, right? So like in those circumstances, you could just throw it, against a wall and get all the anger out. It seems like a good thing, for $2, you can get your anger out and not have to go see a counselor or go to therapy.
I mean, I think a lot of traders need to just go to therapy. I've said this before, but sometimes on the weekend it isn't another setup. It isn't another random piece of alpha that you're trying to incorporate into your trading or a new strategy. It's going outside, spending time with your family, or going to therapy.
If I can't get a, oh, come on.
No, they're gonna go. They're gonna
I
give you a
was
good
gonna
ad.
mark it out there. There we go. I got it.
Filled.
Okay. Now let this runner ride again.
Where's the entry at?
55.
That low is 46. Yeah.
An anger base. Yeah, I mean, that's a great business idea for traders. You could sell it for, $3, could be easily breakable. And give them something to do after they throw it against the wall. They got to clean it up.
Then I'd be pissed that I broke it and had to actually spend time cleaning it up.
At least you wouldn't be over trading on your charts.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously I think we all do experience different forms of anger while trading. I've never been a destructive, angry person.
I've thrown my hat across the room many times and like threw it into a corner. And there are times where I've thrown it like, just purely out of anger and just left it there for weeks just to be, like, you're not good enough for me hat. I'm using a new hat for a while.
I have a question for the chat on that note. Have you ever rage quit your trading platform after a stop out? Like I'm talking the second you get marketed out, do you shut down your platform,
I know where
close
this
your
is going.
computer, and leave the room? Like I'm talking like instantaneously. Like the second that market order hits, you're that pissed. You just exit out and they're gone. I want to hear it from everybody in the chat. Because I know I have. I'm a
And
fan
then
of
you look back at the chart and it reversed right where you rage quit.
100%.
Yeah.
Usually then though, I discover that on looking at my phone 10 minutes later after I've left the room. And they get more frustrated.
That's
a
great.
rage
Yeah.
quit.
NinjaTrader branded movie prop breakable bottles.
The chat is a fan of the rage quit.
Rage quitting is a thing.
It's a new form of quiet quitting. The opposite of quiet quitting, excuse me. All right. Yes, making another attempt here at the 60-40 or 20, can't speak. 56-40 spot.
Whoever's offering 5640, by the way, like if you're in the chat, please
Hate this
stop.
guy. Hate this
Yeah.
guy.
There's somebody just reloading the offer at 5640 like their life depends on it. Which maybe it does. Maybe their life depends on it.
The collar trade guy, the guy who took the other side of it.
What time frame? This is a 300 volume chart. Super low time frame. But it's NQ and we're trying to trade a little bit of a breakout in the afternoon session. So for me, I'd just like to zoom in a little bit more than usual. Looks like correction through time. Yeah. Job says, how often does rage quitting lead to unnecessary lawn work?
Well, I'm ashamed to admit I don't cut my own grass.
I don't either.
It's a weird. Okay, so I was actually on a walk yesterday with my wife and the baby, and I saw a dad who was raking leaves, and he had his newborn like on the baby Bjorn like on his chest, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, we're gonna make a new high here, so I'll pause on this story. But
Don't say that, Nick.
it's a okay, so it's a time
You
value.
can't speak that. You can't speak that into existence.
It's a. I mean, we're gonna make a new high. Here it comes.
Now you said it twice.
Well, ES just did. Sorry. I have NQ one place, ES the other. ES just makes a new high of the day.
F's in the chat for Nick. F's in the chat for Nick. Anyways, tell your story.
Yeah. So it had to do with like the time value of money to me, where I'd rather pay a guy the $100 a month to cut my own grass than me could be out there sweating and miserable for a few hours. I don't enjoy doing it. That's not one of the manual labor things that I like to do around my house. I know there's a lot of dads out there, a lot of guys that love to sit on a mower or push a lawnmower around and cut their own grass, and good for them. It's just never been my favorite household task to ever do. So I pay somebody.
Yeah, I do the same. I mean, the thing is in July and August here, it gets, as 105, 110.
No, thank you.
I don't have time for that. It's not even that. It's that the cool down takes, hours on end.
Yep.
Usually the only time I enjoy a cigar. Yeah. Do you really enjoy a cigar at 110 degrees though?
No.
If it was that hot? Strap on the New Balance. Here's the thing. I'll strap on the New Balance to go load up some brisket on the smoker.
I mean, if we start talking grilling and smoking, this is going to turn into an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience real quick.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Speaking of which, I have a 16-pound brisket in my deep freezer that I need to cook. You just reminded me.
I do too. Do you want to do one? Do you want to compare? Do you want to do a virtual competition?
I mean, we can.
Who has the best smoke ring?
I'm going to try like a good 4 to 8 hour, depending on how I can time this thing, rest. I haven't done one that long before. So I kind of want to throw it in the Yeti and really let it rest for a long time and just see if there's a difference. So it may not be my best. It could be my best. I have absolutely no idea, but I want to do it.
Are you a hot and fast guy or are you just a slow 225 guy?
If it depends. Okay. So I've had, you probably know this. If I'm not entertaining like a big group of people, I don't really care as much. It depends on like my time and like who's coming, what we're doing. But I've had those times where I didn't get to throw it on until the morning and I have to do a little more hot and fast. And then I've had like on Christmas Eve when I started, because everyone was coming over Christmas Day, and I got to start it at like 8 p.m. and really kind of let it sit and rest and kind of choose in the afternoon when we wanted to eat. So
Yeah.
just depends on, I guess, the time frame of the event of people coming to my house.
Yeah. So I have a buddy that lives in Dallas actually, and he is a competition guy. Like he wins consistently, smoking competitions for, brisket or ribs or whatever it might be. So I called him one day and I was like, "Hey man," because I had heard that he was a hot and fast guy, all like nonstop. Like that's all it does is hot and fast. And so I was like, "Hey man, like tell me what to do." And he gave me the rundown. I think there's two things with that with hot and fast. It's 250, 260, even like 270, a little push for as far as temperature, but they cook it to internally a lot hotter, so like 208,
Hmm.
210.
Okay.
Um, which normal I was used to like, hey, I'm pulling it at 202, 203, obviously, checking it for resistance with a pen, right? With the thermometer just to make sure it's smooth, but they don't even start checking until those upper ranges when they go hot and fast.
Interesting.
The first time I did it, it was incredible. And then I did it again. I was like, I'm gonna cook briskets only this way. And ever since
Wasting
then,
24 hours.
that's all I've ever done is go, it's 20 like 250, 260, and you usually cook them like 6 to 7 hours, I think is kind of the rough time frame, depending on how big the brisket is, obviously. But I love it because you can throw it on in the morning and not have to worry about like the overnight cook, something going wrong overnight and you're sleeping.
Yep. It's happened to you before.
Happened to me before for sure. And wake up early, throw it on, and it's done well before it needs time to rest, etc.
What
So,
is your cooking vehicle of choice? Are you
oh,
a
so
set guy, a pellet guy, a
I'm a
Kamado guy?
pellet. Yeah, so I'm a pellet guy. I have a Gorilla Grills pellet, so Gorilla Grills, and mine is the OG that it's called. I think it's called the OG, and it looks like it's got like the dome architecture
Mhm.
basically. Um, and I've had it for, gosh, I think like 9 years now, and they're based out of Michigan. Great company. Have lit it on fire, like the entire thing engulfed in flames, and
New highs into.
yeah, we're about to get this gap fill. They sent me, for free replacement electronic parts.
Nice.
They've taken care of me very well. But yeah, so I didn't mean to turn that into an advertisement, but it was the best. I'd done so much research when I went into pellet grills, and I'm happy with what I got. So that's what I've got. But I think you're a stick smoker guy, right?
I have a pellet too that I've done briskets on. I've done it on the Kamado, which is I'm not the biggest fan of. I think it just weirdly the smoke flavor kind of changes with lump charcoal. I want an
Yeah.
offset, but you know, the wife says I have enough grills.
I
So
think I'm going to cover this. I mean, this is my target, new highs and the gap fill.
let's see if we're gonna close green.
Um, I mean, this thing's rallying pretty good. I don't know.
But yeah, I
New
use
highs
pellet
and
and Kamado,
M.
and I want an offset. That'd be cool.
We're gonna go with the stat chat. We're gonna stay in this trade because the stat that I um repeat day in and day out is new highs in M or L
No.
period. New highs in L bring new highs in M 67% of the time, 65 to 70% of the time. So we're gonna let this trade ride, even though we hit the target. Just for the record, I want to cover this trade right here, but we're gonna hold on for dear life.
And I'm gonna start a new segment right now called Fade Your Friends.
Nick is shorting.
Order filled.
And I'm going to short
Order
2
filled.
NQ here.
All right, let's see Nick's screen.
Stop at new high. So I'm going to take the opposite of Leo's runners here, which actually is a somewhat valid setup as we kind of now are coming back into this range. So we'll see.
I love this short, by the way. I'm really
Yeah,
mad.
it kind of makes sense, especially after, like Leo was saying, we hit that gap fill. We're still at that bottom of this old balance. This is kind of that area where I was kind of saying was the upper target around the 420s that I was really looking for the rest of the session. So now that we hit it, got a little bit above it, up to 35s. I would just love to see this potentially come back towards the 400s, if not kind of balance in that 380 spot that was giving us trouble earlier. So we'll see if wait, Leo, did you trail your runner in profit now, or
Yeah, I think I'm gonna move it above. I'm just gonna leave it at 58. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it at 70. I'll just secure at least. I'll secure
driver
at least
trades,
20.
hashtag Team Nick or hashtag Team Leo? Place your bets. And as always, guys, thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. I know there's probably a million things you could be doing on a Monday afternoon, so we appreciate you hanging and being here. Possibly learning something.
I gotta figure out how to see your screen.
So there's a way. You have to hit show meeting.
Gotcha. Oh, next screen. Okay, perfect. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
and it should you can see like what's actually going out to our lovely folks on YouTube too.
Right on.
See that screen.
So Nick shorted the delta flip right into the last week's low. Stop on new highs.
Yep. So a fair, cheap kind of trade potentially. I mean, you're stopping at new highs.
I've heard you say cheap trade, and I've never really talked to you about it. Can you describe what you mean by a cheap trade?
It's like a really defined stop, I guess, is how I would kind of express it, where it's like you're kind of long near a low of the day, you're short near the high of the day, and your stop is just above it. So you're kind of just making that cheap bet that that high is going to hold or that low is going to hold. So you have a
I
very
cannot believe this chat right now. They're 60% Team Nick.
Everyone loves to fade the trend, apparently, guys. It's not the best strategy at times.
Shab said Christian proved that if you sing Creed, the market goes higher. Listen, Shab, there's a lot of things I'll do. One of them is not singing Creed on stream.
I mean, now I feel like we got to see it.
No, it's just not going to happen. I don't even know the lyrics to a Creed song, so I couldn't even do it if you asked.
I mean, do you need to know any other song besides Fire when you were a trader?
Sheb said she voted for me. Nick, why does your trade have to be working right now? I don't like this.
Because it's a valid setup. I don't know.
I hate this. I hate this for me.
Like you have previous day low, like it just kind of.
I told you I wanted to cover the trade right there, right as you got into your short.
Why didn't you?
Because
now we have to make a meme out of it because now we're doing Team Leo versus Team Nick. So.
Crudele said, "Good thing. Thank God Leo won't sing." See, somebody's on my side. Somebody's on my side. Thank you, Crudele. Momentum, take the wheel. I've said it once, I'll say it again. How you feeling, Nick?
Honestly, I would have loved to see this flush a lot harder than it currently is doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's like when you're counter trend trading, you really do want to see that move happen relatively quickly. And this is why, like, I think we talked about this on the show before, but sometimes why we'll use time stops where, I mean, I'm not going to do it right now, but there may be situations where we're not really getting that move. And if we kind of meander down to 400 and I see buyers coming in, I'm likely to, in theory, cover this just because I'm taking my 20 or so points and I'm happy because you kind of wanted to see that quick rejection and you had even a rebid back up at these 420s that failed. So now it needs to flush.
Yeah, you're getting it now. You're going to cover one at this VWAP?
I want to cover one at 380s.
380s. Okay.
In the 380s.
Yeah. Let's see what you're looking
Probably
at.
86.
I don't know.
or
That anchored
85.
VWAP looks spicy
It does. Let's see if
for
it
a
just,
long.
that was pretty clean right there.
Oh, there's 800 lots on the offer at ES at new highs.
You said yes. I was going to say if that was the same guy on NQ again, I'm really over his, you know what, shenanigans, we'll just call it.
Oh, let's see where's the pull at now. Oh, I'm edging ahead of you. 53 to 47, Nick.
Hashtag fade your friends.
Are
It's
you
not
gonna
really a fade
fade
though. Leo's
the
long
chat?
from like 350 with a runner. I'm shorting
5 day.
highs against the trend. On 9 times out of 10, Leo's going to win that just historically.
Do you have stats to back that up? 9
I mean,
times out of 10.
I'm just guessing based on how many times I've
How many
tried
years of
that
how many
trade.
years of data is that 9 times out of 10
Let's see.
statement?
I've been trading futures since 2021, and I would say I've been stopped out of this type of trade so many times near a high of the day, more than I've probably made. So I'm just going to go with the fact that I'm red probably on this exact type of trade historically.
So 5-year back tested, 4-year back tested data says that Nick's going to lose this trade.
Yes, and purely mentally, mental recovery, backdated data. So I'm purely basing that off just what I think, knowing that I am not highly successful in this setup near the end of the day during power hour, fading the larger move.
Well, we have 12 minutes or 10 minutes until new highs get made. Maybe even before that.
Statistics would say, wait, what is it? 60%? We make the M period high when an L period
67, like 65, 67 in there.
It's
Pretty high.
There you go. Like that's another reason why it's not the best strategy to do this. There we go.
Get the push
during power hour. Nick greedy by literally 5 points from covering at least one of these.
I told you to do it real time.
I'm going to get totally stopped out on this.
The headline goes, Nick's first live trade on NinjaTrader loses trade.
Yep. I've lost thousands of dollars in front of thousands of people. Doesn't faze me anymore. Oh, I guess now, Matt, you just, that clean wick off the anchored VWAP down there.
I brought it up.
You did?
I mean, I don't know. You only have your fight yourself to be mad at right now.
See if someone slaps this down again. Not feeling good about it. Hashtag Team Nick. We're not looking good.
Hashtag Team Nick is going to be hashtag stopped out.
Yep. It looked real good for about 4 minutes.
Let's do some, while we wait for Nick to get stopped out, let's do some AMA Nick.
I mean, that you're trying just to manifest a stop out right now. I'm gonna get stopped. Well, folks, that's why you don't trade live, because real Nick trading covers this trade. Because he's not talking, he's not distracted, he's locked in, focusing on points and not just having fun with everybody here this afternoon. But Power Hour Nick was holding for a new low, clearly. I might get a second chance. Let's go.
Oh man.
Where's your stop?
Double top bear meme. My stop is still 360.
360.
Yeah. I'll cover the trade if before 360s hit though.
I mean, that is an annoying double top if you were long.
Grr. Here's your second chance to get the anchored view up. Does he do it? Oh.
Order canceled.
There you
All right,
go.
I'm out one.
Nice trade.
And now we will hold this for Valhalla. I mean, we came within
I just added to
points
this.
is my stop.
Now I'm long 384.
So now we're both in runners. I mean, who wins this bet still? Whoever gets stopped out first? Are you added?
I added. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a little too close to comfort. That's why you cover on the initial move down and not screw around like I was doing.
I don't like this.
I like this a lot. I know we look at like very short time frames with
Yeah.
our execution charts, but on the 5 minute, there's still nothing that's screaming like short me. Like really,
Really?
just it's just a lot of like just marching, consolidating, and moving higher every time. Like, yeah, we could absolutely roll down to stop you out at 360s, even yes, probably as low as 35s, 36. But yeah, this doesn't scream short me on the 5 minute.
Well, I've added a few times to this. I'm in at 384 and it's not looking great, but we did it for team rally and we're going to hang out. There's an LVN right here on the profile and we just really bit out of it. And with the context of single prints below us, markets made new highs in the L period. I want to hang tight for this to continue higher.
Yeah, this still looks like wait for the right dip to get along with.
So we're on next stream.
We're on yours. Oh, now we're back to mine.
We're back to yours.
I kind of want to cover this if we get above 400s again.
The offers stepped in again.
I'm going to move my stop and profit, and this comes all the way back to 420s. I mean, I have no business still being in this trade.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with getting too aggressive on ads, like where I've kind of made a tactical error here as being long from the 50s, just a runner, adding it, not far from high of day. And now I kind of need to either sit in this trade or get out of it or get stopped out,
Hashtag Team Nick.
Shh.
Hunt Leo stop.
There it comes. I got it.
There
I
it
got it
goes.
filled. We're going to get him back.
If we break this consolidation that we were kind of in, Leo, at what, 350s, 340s?
Yep.
Get a little spicy.
Yeah.
retest that breakout from after
Well,
lunch.
I'm gonna try a couple more. Same kind of area to 370. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. We came to that ledge in ES 5640.
Yep.
I just want to see. I'm still interested in being long in here. I just got stopped out on that last trade, unfortunately.
Yeah, CVS goes to 35s.
All right, they got me. Whatever.
So hashtag Team Nick.
Hashtag
50-50
Team
though, Leo.
Nick.
Literally
win.
50-50 though.
And try this
Which
again.
is not, I mean, that is the most typical chat. We get no discernible data from the bet or fading one of us, fading the chat, literally split down the middle.
I'm back in here at 67. Let's see.
I'm trailing this down, so I'm just gonna kind of see if we break this 350s, 340 spot. So Leo, for you to buy this again, what are you looking for? Where would you
Well,
want
I'm
to
already in it right now
Oh.
at 67.
Never mind.
Yeah. We're already buying it.
Hashtag Team Leo already back in the trade. Will he get stopped again?
Somebody said so many sellers on the tape. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I'm really over this sling. And for everyone wondering, that was not a left-handed trade. I did somehow manage to click my right-handed mouse.
Do you have to wear that 24/7?
Technically, yeah.
But you don't.
No, I mean, I do pretty much unless I'm, yeah, really, I mean, really just taking a shower. That's about the only time it's off. Now that I think about it.
Mm.
And during PT. But it's hot in here. There's a lot of monitors, there's a lot of lights. And this thing is like really warm and thick. So I'm over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And if I had half of mine, I'd add to this position, honestly.
Yeah, ES kind of bounced off overnight high and is, or excuse me, not ES, NQ. It's making a march again. Still high. I'm gonna watch this anchored view up from that high of the day.
Yeah, that's a really good area. You know, I've almost tweeted something about that. If you have a higher low of day anchored VWAP and we continue to respect it on retests, that's a really, really good indication that you may have a reversal.
And they're gonna stop.
Oh, Team Leo comes back.
Stop filled.
Oh,
Stop out, Nick.
stopped out. Yeah, now I wouldn't want to short this with just about anybody's money.
All right, so now that we've stopped out Nick, we're going to take profit on one here. See if we can't.
I mean, so
Get
it really
fill.
is kind of a 50-50 example there. I mean, both sides worked. It just really depended on how you were managing your trade.
All right. We got out for Nick's stop out. The trick to that for me was that I added to it quite aggressively in here. So literally the idea is still the same and it's still working. I just had to manage against an unfavorable position at the moment. So taking the stop out, giving myself a minute to, reevaluate basically what's going on, and then jumping back in the trade.
Yeah, it's that it's that logic of take your punishment, reevaluate, and if it still makes sense, get back in.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with that. You either immediately get back in out of frustration, rage, tilt, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
versus just kind of continuing to see, is this still valid, and then taking the setup again. Because it's like anything, you can have a good entry, but timing is still the whole point. So I'm not very good at that, Leo. Is that getting back in, kind of not necessarily sticking to your guns, but still having the fortitude to take a very similar setup in almost the same spot.
Right. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Are they really going to come short here? I at least want to get off. I have two, so like if I get one off, I can hold for like a continuation push at the end of the day.
Prepare your triple top memes for Leo.
Please don't.
Yes, is trying. And Q's got a little higher to go.
I'm just going to get out here. Just take it. Just take it. Come on. Oh, and then we get the print. And then we get the print. There we go. I wanted to be out of that one and got not the best execution there. I should have sold into the strength into that prior day low test. That's usually how I would manage that. Oh, thanks for the claps.
A little golf clap.
Golf claps. Oh, okay.
This little 5-minute range that we continue to just be ping-ponging off of between 350s and 420s really still holding.
Right here and right here. Give us new highs on the day. I'm not super I don't know. I just want it to happen because that stat is like over the last 4 or 5 times it's came up. It hasn't played out. I think it's only played out like once.
So
the other two
would say we're due.
Yes. We're due.
Let's see that.
Variance. You can't, variance is something that you don't get to control, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Job said, nice read on both sides of the activity. Well-defined risk on either end of the range. Yep. That's what I love about trading, balance or chop is that you have well-defined risk. And then with the execution-based tools, from what we have from OFL, it gives you that extra confidence, right? We had a level here. We saw a bunch of trapped liquidity. We've seen, if you look to the left, buyers stepped in here, and here. And so we can just kind of lean on that information just to help give us a little more confidence. They just filled some iceberg longs. Nick, do you look or track icebergs?
I do on ES and only via the delta by price for the whole session.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you start, I mean, there's probably a good way to see it on NQ. I don't know. I mean, you look at NQ delta a lot more closely than I do intraday. But for me, at least, learning, it's a lot harder for me to see that versus on ES. I think any idiot with a computer and the right tool can identify a positive or negative 2000 delta for the whole session and start to say, okay, that's clearly a larger player just shoveling orders in there. So yeah, I can spot them on ES. NQ, I'd never been good at it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on ES because, you
Yeah.
know, it's kind of hard to ignore like a 4,000 lot
Yep.
delta at a specific price.
And then you see it in theory respected by for the parts of the session or whatever, and it's
Right.
going to take potentially like an act of God type of bit of volume to kind of potentially push through it in
Right.
that session. So I like to use them at ES to just like we would do, like maybe you're playing the range off of it, a high or low, and kind of not necessarily looking for the reversal, but expecting that area to hold. And once again, you could clearly do that with a very potentially a tight stop. Because if we kind of blow through it, it could be a very violent move through that iceberg on ES.
Yeah. Let's see if we get a new high.
I think we're
What
going
do
to
we
get it
think?
this time.
They're pulling all the offers in ES right now.
Oh yeah, look at that. Bye-bye.
Chat, should we hold this into the close or just take it on a new high? I'll do what you say.
Now they're going for new highs. Let's see. Personally, based on statistics, Leo, I think you hold it.
We did fill the stats. We got a new high in the day.
Plus, my trading buddy needs to no longer trade for the rest of this year, so NQ needs to close green.
Is he that bad?
No, he's actually a great trader. I'm just giving him crap because it seemed so outlandish of a thing to say at that time. I did not think we were going to be anywhere close to closing green after the flush we saw this morning.
Let's see. They were saying hold it into the close. Somebody said new high, take out. Job said hold it, provide the pain. Close. Everybody's saying hold to the close. MOC should be huge, huge MOC. Thank you, Catch. We took out that big order in ES. Here comes prior day close at 460. Diamond hands. Okay. The chat has basically demanded that I hold this into the close. So for better or worse, just like earlier when I said I wanted to cover that original trade at prior day low, I would cover here at prior day close. This is a reference point for me. I use it for targets all the time. And so normally, if we weren't streaming, I'd cover this close. Plus, it's a great 94-point trade, almost 100 points. For me, that's a great trade. If I had Tanya's money gun, I'd be pulling the money gun trigger right now.
Absolutely.
I need to get one of those.
I'm sure we can find one.
Maybe Ninja could send us all money guns.
I mean, I think with our team, we need predefined rules of when we can hit. Otherwise, almost any trade, I feel like that's green. Someone may fire one.
Maybe she might get mad at us for
stealing her stick.
Stealing the money gun idea.
$56.70s. I really was long. 55.
Chris is into it. Trade with boxes. Chris is into it. Money guns. Oh, Crudele wigs. Yes.
Crudele wigs.
And I heard Crudele was wearing a schmedium, showing off his biceps today.
Was he?
Is that true, Crudele? Hey, Crudele, what's your trade here at the end of the day, by the way? Are you long? Are you going to get long into the last 10 minutes? You have like a specific last of the month trade setup, right? Oh, lots of selling. Lots of selling. See all this selling coming in?
Ooh.
Oh, are they not going to?
Look at that negative delta that just built right there.
Yeah. So we just saw like 700 lots hit the bid here at prior day close. That's a really important reference for those of you that don't follow like standard market generated data.
It's always funny when something like that happens and the charts need to print the information. I can hear my PC just working a little harder at that moment.
Yeah.
You'll hear the fans start to go.
So we saw that selling, came in right at that very easily seen reference point. And they got pretty aggressive right at the 460s. But you guys said hold this trade into the close, so I'm going to honor that. I will take a stop out. Oh, darn. I don't know why I keep doing that. I will take a stop out at 75.
Hey, at least this is
good example here
significantly better
where
price action than last Monday, Leo.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Crudele said it was large. LMAO. What are the indicators on the right side of the chart? This is just delta by price. So basically it's like a volume profile, but it's doing the ask minus bid calculation. So it's just identifying the dominant participant in the current leg of the auction. So right now it's anchored from this low of 53. And as we traverse up to the upside, it's just tracking the delta information. Today's not clear. If we start to sell off, I will sell futures for a quick trade, but I won't buy it up here. All about the last 5 minutes. Oh, okay, cool.
We're 4 minutes from MOC, the most important MOC, till the next most important one. We've got 340 people in here and only 72 likes, Leo.
What?
I mean, guys, if you've enjoyed this afternoon with us screwing around, taking some trades, having some fun, and trying to and potentially giving you your next idea for your next brisket, hit the thumbs up button. Support the stream.
Hey, Firmament shorted when he saw that selling come in. Great job. Great trade. He said that saved his day.
Nice.
Now he's done till tomorrow.
I'm curious where he got in. We're at that 460s or when we broke 460s.
All right, we got 120 likes now. We need to do better than that. The inside track on the fast brisket is definitely worth a like. I agree.
I mean, there's
literally how I cook briskets now.
I always feel like that's how I'm doing it more lately too. It's just like I hear something from somebody else and I just want to try it, so I changed it up a little bit.
Right. That selling's pretty aggressive now. It's all selling, just nothing but selling.
I used beef tallow when I was wrapping it this last time. A little different.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Do you buy beef tallow or do you make your own?
I'm way too lazy to render for that long.
Yeah,
and I'd probably still screw it up. So no, I'm bougie and I go to the store.
Yeah. Do you wrap yours? Okay, so here's your butcher paper, is it something that you wrap in or do you use aluminum foil?
I've done aluminum foil and then I had multiple people tell me to do butcher paper.
Yeah.
So I've done butcher paper and I personally think it has created a better bark over time. I don't know. I just think it's been better since I've done it that way.
I do butcher paper for sure. And I also at the end, we're about to get the 50 algo, so we got 45 seconds. So when I go to rest the brisket, I'll wrap the butcher paper thing, the whole thing, in saran wrap to lock in, to basically like keep all that moisture in the paper and in the brisket.
I know they make wraps for this exact reason. I did 2 beach towels last time, which was another
Yeah,
nation, which is like just throw it in the butcher paper and throw it in the Yeti. And then I was like, okay, we're going to wrap it more from there. So tried that, turned out good. So keep innovating.
right, right.
I
So we
would
have
say there's not a wrong way to do a brisket, but here we go.
there we go. Okay, you guys said hold into the close.
Let's see.
I don't
Oh.
know.
Ooh,
I'm thinking I'm gonna hold it for maybe a new high and then take it and then get out.
soft.
Feel like I mean, I don't see us closing at the high of day. Yeah.
That's funny. That probably was it, Leo. We didn't even
Yeah.
make it high of the day.
I'm gonna get out. It's good enough. It's
I was
good
like,
enough for me.
You got the push. I mean, who knows? The last 5 minutes. Oh no, we jinxed it.
No, it's
There
gonna
it goes.
go. Oh well. You know, it's one of those things like when you see your original target, you know, you get a big yank back from it, and then you get back to, you know, where you kind of wanted to get out in the first place. I usually take that as a sign.
Yeah. I mean, you had a 70-point pullback against where you could have covered, and you got a second gift to
Right.
cover again up there. I mean, you
Right.
absolutely should take that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a standing
that's a real
ovation instead
applause.
of the golf clap. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Looks like Jim's firing up his monitor. Jim, are you gonna pull into the close with us here?
Jim's ready to give us his brisket recipe.
All right, I'm back. That was awesome.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. It's kind of, I guess it'll be interesting to see where we actually close for the month, and the quarter, right? End of quarter and a month. So a lot of important business to be done at the end of the bell.
Yeah, even the last like 3 minutes, 5 minutes could be kind of wild here, even after MOC.
Yeah, and kind of unpredictable.
Yeah. I would want no part of this personally, but
You need a big green egg for starters. That's
Oh,
essential.
I am a fan of searing my steaks in the Kamado, which is a big green egg. Same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're a green egg guy, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably not the most healthy thing for me to smoke stuff all the time, but it's a wonderful thing.
Do you have one of the automated temperature control fans on yours, or do you manually you monitor your temp?
I'm out there with a little whiskey with some ice in it, and I'm tapping my fingers on the top vent and the bottom vent all
Yeah.
night long.
Yeah. You should buy one of the automated ones and just hang out on the couch with the whiskey. It's a lot easier life.
Yeah, but that's kind of like telling the fishermen, hey, don't use a rod and reel. You just throw a net out there.
I mean, I get it, but you know, for a 12-hour cook, are you really gonna stand there for 12 hours?
It depends who the company is. And I usually have pretty darn good company. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the dream.
Yeah. So, but can't beat it. And once you figure it out, you know, the temperature control part, you can let it go. You can let it go. You can go to bed. You literally put that thing at like 150, just go to bed. Wake up, it's like 148. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
So it's
So
super
you'd let
slick.
yours go overnight without
Yeah.
really monitoring it. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're cooking and what day it is and who you're trying to impress or not impress.
Right.
So, but yeah, they're wonderful, man. Absolutely wonderful.
I'm a big pellet guy. I mean, and I guess one of the reasons is probably just because it's so easy. You can you've got pellets in all the time. Like all you have to do for cleanup is, clean out the bottom of the pit or whatever. And you can fire that thing up and, get exactly the temp you want.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Now we're getting a big rally into the close, it looks like.
Don't tell me they would have given you a third chance to cover at high of the day.
Right. Right.
So we have a gamma level. We just missed it. It's and the S&P it's 5675. And on the micro NASI, it is, and we just missed it there too, 19,500. If we hit any of these in the last 5 minutes, I'm going full out gamma.
Don't ever go full gamma, Jim. Nick tried that and didn't go well for him.
I might turn green even. I'll go full-fledged Bruce Banner on this.
We're gonna have to have a conversation, Jim. Side conversation. Nick will have kind of like an intervention. We'll make it work.
That's fair, but I'm keeping my eyes on that 19,500. How much time do we have left?
We've got enough time to do anything in NQ.
We really could still do it. 4
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. 4 minutes, 40-point rally, no problem.
All right. It's
Top
looking
high of
like
the day
it.
again.
It's trying, baby.
Got a few minutes left.
Oh, we got a little bit of work to do to get up here in the ES. We missed it by 2.5 handles on the E-mini S&P.
Crudele says impressively muted quarter end.
Impressively muted.
Appreciate it, Matt. Matt says great job for both Leo and Nick. Fatfish says also you never go full gamma, Jim.
Oh my gosh. We had a 507, almost 508 point range in the NASDAQ today.
That's fantastic. I love these type of conditions. Just there's so many opportunities. If you don't get ahead of your skis and get into too large of a position, you want to size down and use wider stops, of course, but I think it just makes for more interesting trading than when you have 100-point range.
Yeah, the opening range breakout people are high-fiving each other now.
Let's see if they can pop it.
We're getting there, baby. Minute 50 seconds.
We're all intently watching for 19,500.
Tell Anthony we need a couple hundred lots in there. Come on, Anthony.
Anthony, lift the offer in NQ. All of the lots you can.
My God. It's like the little engine that could, man. Minute 5 seconds.
Violent here. Something. And 60 seconds. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
10
no.
points away. Oh, they're selling it. No, Jim. Delta Map says no.
That's fat fish. So
Delta
with
Map
a big
says
order.
no. Delta Map says no. No 500s. I think you should become a Delta map guy, not a Gamma guy.
I could be talked into it.
I think you can be
Maybe.
like me and use a bunch of different things to help find confluence.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there we go.
I say that
That
as
was
if I
it.
don't just execute mainly on volume and delta.
Sounded
We know that
impressive,
we
though.
know the truth, Nick.
I
We
mean,
know the truth.
it's true. It just happens that sometimes that also seems to provide a good entry at one of those big gamma lines on the chart.
There it is.
Oh, right. Nicely done, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Fun close.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my pleasure, our pleasure. For sure. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun too. So we'll see what happens. Going into now tomorrow, who is on the agenda?
Tomorrow I'm going to be back on, so you get to deal with me again, and
Awesome.
we'll be on with Stowe. And Stowe is a musician, and he's going to sing Creed tomorrow. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to.
I'm tuning in just for that. Forget about the trading.
I think you should.
Oh my God. Anyway, awesome job today, guys. Thank you as usual. Looking forward to the OrderFlow Labs, guys. Don't forget on your way out, smash that like button. Follow these guys on X, formerly known as Twitter. And appreciate everybody coming. I think we're pretty much done for the day. We'll be hitting it bright and early tomorrow morning, um, 8 o'clock a.m. Any final words, guys?
Shab said Stowe's her new favorite. That's not acceptable. You're getting an email after this.
I mean, I don't blame her.
Wow. All right.
I'm not messing with Shep. Whatever she says. Any event. All right, guys. Stay with me. I will sign out together. Appreciate everybody being here as usual. Looking forward to tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, sharp, NinjaTrader Live. Remember, most important message of the day, folks, please be safe out there. Be good to each other. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jim.